Hello everybody, my name is Lynx and welcome back to my channel. Now, I meant to make this video a little bit sooner. It's been a couple weeks now that I've had the 136 scale Sinanju bust finished. And I would kind of just say that was contemplation on whether or not it's a worthwhile purchase to buy this kit. But to be completely honest, it's pretty much just me being lazy and being busy with work and school. So we're doing this now. So I have it done. I have it built here, as you can see, and it's absolutely amazing. From what I've experienced from building this kit, it's insanely. I wouldn't say insanely complex of the building. I think the main point of contention for this kit is that it would be massive, and it's not the most complex build. There's not any screws from what I remember. However, we'll move this out of the way for right now. There is a bit of wiring. It's not insanely difficult wiring. However, you are dealing with a couple small spaces in the wiring, as well as just kind of having to put wires in places that you wouldn't necessarily think would go, which for me kind of stressed me out because I wasn't 100% sure on whether or not a wire should go somewhere or not. When I did eventually get the wire in that spot, it did fit perfectly and it worked fine. So my complaint for that was null and void. And it's just a really cool kit. Now there are a couple little issues. Now I kind of expected this being a Chinese model kit, and not to put anything against the Chinese, but historically from model kit makers like Mechanicore, formerly Ellen, or I want to say Dragon Momoko. I'm not entirely sure on that though. There have been fitting issues with those kind of kits, and this is no exception. As you can see here, I'm not sure. Yeah, there we go. So here you can see this little black bit kind of sticking out a little bit in the gold. The main chest panel here did have a little bit of fitting issues, but I did get it to snap in eventually. But the worst offender of this, in my opinion, would be this bit. So this is going to be very hard to see. However, right here, this bit here does not line up 100% perfectly. Now that is my own nitpick, and it's not really something that I can really say will be an objective problem for everyone. But I can't really even get the right angle to show this at. There is also a gap here, right in here, that goes right through. And from most angles you're going to be looking at it from, it's not going to be extremely noticeable. But there's not too much fitting problems, but there are a couple other problems that I have run into with it. Okay, I've turned the camera around for this to kind of just point out what I'm talking about with the issues. So, firstly, I would say probably the biggest issue I've found would be so being that this is a I don't want to keep saying Chinese model kit, but being that this is not a Bandai model kit, the kings of model kits to come out of Gundam and Gunpla, this doesn't have very many visible nub marks, but those that you can find and pick out are very noticeable. There are a couple on the little cockpit hatch here, on the gold, and again from most angles you won't be able to see it, but there is little chips here that you can see if you look hard enough. Again, they hide them pretty well. There's a couple there's a couple of nub marks in here. I want to show you where I'm pointing at. So back, there we go. Under this little panel, here, there is a nub mark in there somewhere. And I think, yeah, there's also one right here. But that is covered up, as well as it's just kind of, it's well hidden. But in terms of nub marks, there's not really too many that are really bothersome. Now, one other point, actually, and I want to correct myself on something real quick, because I mentioned this in the unboxing, that this manufacturer has also made other bust kits, and that is not true. I think that might have been where all the dislikes were coming from in that video. I think at the time of recording this right now, that video has 1 like and 6 dislikes, or 7 dislikes. It might be from what I said then, and I'm not 100% sure. It might just be the quality of the video. I went back and watched it and found that a lot of the footage while I was holding the camera was shaky, so sorry about that. But something I said before was that this brand also made kits like the they made a bust of the new Gundam. They made a bust of the Sazabi and the Unicorn. That's not true. That's from Bandai's 4Mania line. I'm pretty sure. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So this is a completely different manufacturer. I'm pretty sure this is the first thing they've worked on that I've researched. I haven't really taken a look into any of their kits. This is the only one I've bought because this is the only kit that I've owned from them. You will notice a lot of silver on this kit, and a lot of that is actually metal. Now, I don't know if this is for everyone. I know on the box it did say limited edition, so that might just be me and a select few other people that got the limited edition version. So as you can see, all the pipes on here, under here, metal. There's a metal spring in there as well. They have the metal thruster bells in the shoulders, and in each of the thrusters here. Trying to think of what else. There are metal pistons in here. There's a metal piston back here. There's on this, I'm just gonna take this entire thing off. On the fuel tank, there is a metal part here. But then other than that, and there's also metal parts where the Vulcans in the head are. I'm trying to, and on the backpack, in the main center part of the back, there is also metal thruster parts. So I wouldn't guarantee that if you got this kit anytime after this first release that you would get all those metal parts. I know it does come with some metal parts with the standard release, but for the limited edition, I don't know which parts it actually adds onto. I don't read Chinese, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure they specify on there, but I don't know of any other parts. I can do articulation of this. So this little thruster up here goes up that far, down. This is on a swivel joint, and the head is on a ball joint. So it's on a ball at the base of the head, and then a hinge up and down right there. And then the thrusters on the back, well, the fuel tanks are on ball joints. Thrusters on the back are on a the thrusters on the back are on a hinge here, and then another hinge at the base. However, the second hinge is really tight, and it's actually ratcheted with a polycap, so that can move up and down however you like. However, there is wires in there, and I am concerned about how well that'll fare for the articulation aspect of it. Now, there are I want to call them open hatch gimmicks. I'm not sure if that's exactly what they are. But firstly, of the open hatch gimmicks, there is this bit here. So you fold that up, pull this up, and then fold that down. There's a cockpit in there. I'm pretty sure there's a seat as well, but there's no pilot figure to go there, and that part is filled with an LED in there, and I'll show the LEDs later. But there's the cockpit. The way they engineered this is actually pretty cool. So there's no gears, no anything, no pistons in here, but you pull this up, and the entire shoulder opens up like that. So like that, and it just pushes down, open and close on both sides, which is actually not too bad. I really thought that was going to be kind of parts forming, but no, it's kind of cool they just incorporated that without any other etc. parts. Now the rest of the open hatch parts are on the back here. Now the first one would be right in the middle. This panel lifts up like that. It's not too much, but it's enough to just kind of give it a different look.
And I think especially at this part, this is a good time to mention, some of these poly caps are a little tight. So like this one, while putting this piece onto the poly cap, it was kind of hard and it felt like I was gonna break it for a little while, but it didn't. So that's good. And then the thruster. Now the thruster is probably the biggest part that open hatches. It's pretty much like the real grade Sinanju with an extra twist. So for this one, the bottom flap opens. You can spread out the thrusters, and then you can either, and I say either because this is how it works the most effectively that I've found. You can either open this up on the top, and it opens just the slightest bit, or you can keep that a little bit further down, and then also move the thruster down because they're connected together, and then open up this part here. And if you move up one of them, it starts to collide and then want to close the top one. So it does fit there. And then if you want to, that I found also, there's little green parts in here that you can just kind of fold down. I'm not even sure if that showed up too well on camera, but there are. Let's see here. So there's nothing here, see, and then there's a green part that comes down like that. Yeah, actually that shows up pretty well on camera. But yeah, that's the open hatch on the back. And then the reason you'd want to do the open hatches is, well, firstly, there's LEDs in here that show, opening the cockpit as well shows the LED in there. This one doesn't show any more of an LED, but it just kind of opens up the hatch so then it, I guess, makes it easier to see. I don't know. But I'll go ahead and open up all of them kind of and give you a walk around of that just right quick.
Now then, that is what you greeted when you open up all the hatches. The head is sideways that I'm just now seeing. That is what you greeted when you open up all the hatches like that. This is what I have it displayed as most of the time. I'm pretty sure most other people will as well. It's just a cool, even without the light, even without the lights on, it still looks pretty menacing. I wish that they made it. I wish the real grade Sinanju went to this level of like opening up the panels up here, the shoulders, but that wouldn't really be animation accurate now, would it? And again, the cockpit in there, not really much to show, but good little addition. The head, menacing as always for a Sinanju. And yeah, it's just so cool to look at. Now it gets even better though, because
now there's a reason I brought down this with me. So this is a power bank. I don't have it plugged into this all the time. I have it plugged into an actual wire to a computer. Just it's connected to a computer. Now there are, firstly, so I also wanted to mention that the base is not connected to the model. It's just the model just kind of sits on the base. But here,
this will be a little hard to see as the light from the wings you see here are kind of blocking the view I have on this, but there is a little panel in here. There we go. With a little battery casing in there. Now what that's supposed to allow is that you put batteries in there and then you can, I think you plug this in and then turn it on. It comes with a remote to actually turn this on and off remotely. However, mine is not working, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to ever work because I do not want to mess with the wiring of that. I'm not a technician at all.
But once you eventually get it all done and dusted, now in the manual it does tell you to just kind of play with it, like play with the LEDs as you're setting up the entire kit. So you get little sneak peeks of it every once in a while, but you don't really get the full effect of it until you've completely finished the kit and you get all the LEDs working. So let me go ahead and plug this in. And let me make sure that it does work. It does. Now what I've found personally is that for me, for my likes of this, it doesn't look the best in completely dark light. Now, if you have it as like a dim light, that works better in my opinion. So we're gonna show this now.
So luckily my light switch here has a little fader. And we're gonna turn this down pretty low. Probably, yeah, like that. There we go. Now you can't see much of the kit, but you can see the lights on it do look like reflect how shiny the kit is, especially on like gold and the entire gloss red of the kit. Now when you turn it on, it's not an instant on, it kind of fades in, which is cool. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. There it is. Alrighty. So, okay, so this is the first issue, okay? So on my kit, I don't know what it is. These LEDs in here, there's LEDs in the waist here. They don't work for me for some reason. However, they do, when they do work, it gives a nice little reflection here of all the metallic bits, but for the rest of the kit. Now, for me, I've never really been one to put LEDs in my model kits because they don't really look the best all the time. However, this, since it's not an individual LED unit, it's a separate entity and you can plug it into whatever you want. This works amazingly. The thrusters in here, as you can see, there's the metal thruster and a blue piece. Now, these are coming across purple on film, but they are definitely blue. It kind of gives an odd purple tinge to it, but yeah, it's definitely blue. You can see the green parts in here, as I was saying. Now this is the thruster without the green parts down, and that's with it, the parts down. It gives a little bit of effect. The LED is sitting right in there. And then the best view of this is definitely just from the back. Now this is the picture I just keep showing people whenever they ask about this kit. And it's just so, it's so crazy how, it's just so, I don't know what it is about it. It looks just so clean and nice. You can really see how reflective plastic is in this, where you can see just 4 thrusters, but there's only 2 actual thrusters just because of the reflection in there. But yeah, I found out it actually works for a pretty nice night light. I left it on in my room one night and just kind of, you know, peacefully lit up my room as I was trying to go to bed, and I didn't want to turn it off because I thought it was just too cool. I don't really usually have the cockpit open, but you know, that's that. But yeah, it's so cool when it's lit up like this. It's so just, it's awesome. Unfortunately, again, the LEDs in the waist, mine, I'm pretty sure it might just be the issue of like I didn't plug them in properly or what. But it's just a damn shame that like they stopped working. They work every once in a while, but it doesn't work perfectly every time, like all the time. But yeah, it's just a sight to behold. And then this is what it kind of looks like with the lights on. You don't see too much, but again, you do get the accents of the thrusters and the thrusters up top, and the eye. The eye is probably, because the eye is actually a green LED. There's no part over that to make it a green color, as if like, you know, these are just, I'm pretty sure they're blue LEDs, but they do have the blue covering over them. Same with the back, and then I'm pretty sure these are green LEDs. The LEDs in the cockpit, the head, and the thrusters back there are all the brightest, but you see this one from the front the most, and it is definitely the brightest LED on the kit because of that. But yeah, it's just so good. Now, one of the things bouncing around the Gunpla subreddit was that this kit is absolutely beautiful. It's huge, and it's an amazing thing to have. But is it worth the price tag? Now, for me, I've been saving up for this since I heard it was coming out. I guessed it would be, I had a guess that it was going to be around $150, and I was like, okay, I'll save up that much money. And it ended up being $200 from the place I got it from. So I got mine from USA Gundam Store. If I didn't have the, like, again, I plugged Zaku Aurelius in the last video, I'm going to plug him again. Zaku Aurelius, if I didn't have his 10% off code, the total cost of the kit would have been around $226. But because I had the discount code, it was a flat $200, and I got it within a couple of days. So, but is it worth the $200? Personally, I think it definitely was. It's huge, and it's absolutely beautiful to look at. I am a massive fan of the Sinanju. I don't know what it is. It's just such a cool design. It's like more so than the Sazabi for me.
the Sazabi does look cool, but it doesn't exactly have I don't know. There's like there's just a certain elegance about the Sinanju about it. So that's what kind of makes it worth it for me. It's so like I think the when I first finished building this kit, I took like I don't know. I think I sat for around 10 to 20 minutes just staring at it. Like in this in this lighting, I just stood there and stared at it, and it's just like it's such a cool thing to see because they don't make kits in a 1 to 35th scale. They would be massive. This is only the top half, and this is bigger than my perfect Xeon.
Okay, I actually want to show this off now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little comparison of size here. So I have a standard master grade size in the Gym Command Colony type. Yeah, that's the that's the comparison there. It looks just small, like tiny, and this is a regular master grade size. Like probably all the Gundams and the Zakus are going to be hovering around this size. I have a perfect grade here, the perfect grade Zaku, as you can see. Dead meme here, right? But again, it's still just, it's huge. I mean, the perfect grades are not small, but this thing is huge. And even bigger than a perfect grade is the master grade perfect Xeon, as you can see here. Now, when I say it's bigger, and again, I think in head height to the tip of the commander's antenna, yeah, the perfect Xeon is bigger, but with the wings and the presence of it, if I put the perfect Xeon behind the bust, yeah, it looks tiny. It looks like the regular Xeon, like just the animation Xeon, not the perfect Xeon. But again, it's huge. It's absolutely massive. I mean, this is the thing I was talking about. It's a massive bust. It's a massive head bust of a Sinanju, and the Sinanju is not a small mobile suit. In 1/35th scale, this is a massive mobile suit. This is taller than most Gundam types. This is taller than a good amount of Xeon type mobile suits. So in 1/35th scale, it's huge. I mean, again, perfect Xeon. It just feels small compared to this thing. And not only that, the weight of this, the weight of this thing is also just huge. It's like, I mean, that was very, very bad grammar there. But again, it's a heavy kit. I would put it around 10 to 15 pounds. It's huge. I mean, okay, well, again, I want to just put this in shot. Perfect grade Zaku. Again, it's just dwarfed by, not dwarfed, it just looks small compared to the Sazabi bust. I mean, Sinanju bust. So, is it worth it? I mean, it'll come down to your opinion on how much you want to spend for a kit, but I mean, for me, it's worth it. And it was fun to build. It was enjoyable, and I think if I lost it or I broke it to the point where I couldn't repair it, yeah, I'd probably buy another one. So, yeah, I'm gonna call this here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment down below. It really helps me out. I really appreciate it. Share this wherever you share things because, again, not a lot of people want to get this kit because of how expensive it is, and this would be an informative piece. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.